there's a separation of church and government, religion and government, then why do the Nazi pigs wear pentagrams and stars of David? Why do they could wear a cross too if they wanted. Don't know why they don't. They could, you know, they could wear pretty much Scientology thing because Ron L. Hubbard looks like them. Obviously, you own the media, you own the world. No one else is allowed to have a racial supremacist organization except for you. Why the hell would Hitler allow blonde hair, blue eyed people to fucking create a cult if they already own the world and they're just gonna kill you if you try? But you think there's something to the Nazi pigs wearing pentagrams and religious symbols? You think if there was a separation of state and religion, then they would purposely not use Nazi symbols? That's odd because it takes these Nazis to drug children. It takes these Nazis to protect. It takes these religious nutbag Nazi pigs to fucking. They protected their pedo palaces. Those little hospitals. There's little drug fucking cartels, centers down the block where they mutilate fucking children and shit for their goddamn fucking Nazi fucking religions. And that's the same Nazi pigs who just participated with their race, posing as crackheads down the street, who just tried to kill me, and then the police tried to help the killing happen. I guess they thought they were going to bust my head open and then not allow me to get medical attention, and I'm going to die because I get to die. Fucking apparently I get to die, right? Fucking not them. They don't die. They're all making that up. Obviously, all the news stories about my enemies fucking dying are being just fabricated. I mean, technically it is, right? It's all fucking AI generated. Fucking, I'm pretty sure, fucking preset fucking videos for the most part, probably. Anyways, but yeah, well, there you go. We have it. There is no separation of church and state because, the Nazi race cult from the fucking pyramids fucking is already in control of the entire fucking world, and they're not gonna stop. Their race isn't gonna stop. They didn't start 6,000 years ago colonizing the world. They didn't write a manual called the Bible to blueprint for genocide of everyone who is not them, and enslavement of everyone, and raping of every child and shit. Because I guess their DNA is just that sick. It's just that important, alongside conquest and genocide, to legalize child rape. Like, that's just like a fucking. It's like, well, if we can't rape children, there's no point to fucking, conquering the world, is there? I mean, talking about a little sick fucking joke there. Their creator makes of them and shit. Fucking. Anyways, yeah, there we go. There we have it. The Nazi fucking pigs. A cab. A cab. All cops are bastards. Fucking, I love that. That's great. Fucking, it's true. It's factual. They invented piggery to fucking round up the slaves, which these people brought over here to sell, and then they blamed another people that they genocided before they came here for that. That way they can slime away. Like they keep creating different religions here and shit to slime away from fucking anti-religions these days, aren't it? And they gotta, something happen. Someone had a thought one day in the past 100 years, and they had to start creating anti-religions because they were worried. Fucking something happened there, because for some reason they stopped telling people to worship their race as gods, and stopped talking about gods in their anti-cults. Fucking I don't think they've grown up to be smart enough to understand those things don't. 200 million gods don't exist. Themselves, fucking, or Bigfoot. I mean, they probably actually believe half that shit they say in their media, right? They're fucking retarded, aren't they? Fucking, the only thing they believe in is children's dicks. Fucking, who knows? They probably don't even know if they exist or not. It's like the flavor of it. Obviously, that would be about, torture and mutilation. Obviously, like, they're creating torture groups here. We have these fucking Nazi pig bastards. Fucking, that, like, they create them to supposedly, to catch slaves, and then obviously who are they catching now? Like everyone who's not them, right? Like they're used on everyone. Like slaves aren't just black people, fucking. Especially in America, if you're not one of them, then you're not an American. You probably did not participate in the genocide of the Native Americans, and this is not your land, fucking. So it's not for you and shit, fucking. But yeah, there we have it. Religious symbols on the fucking Nazi pigs. Fucking, kill them all. All cops are bastards. Burn them down. Oh, that was fucking beautiful watching this shit in 2020, wasn't it? Wasn't it? All you bitches who were whining about that. Was any bitch really whining about that? Someone actually was, and it's like, bro, I don't even care if it's my enemies doing it. Like, as long as it's being done, you know what? In fact, the simple fact that my enemies are doing it, fucking, wow. Isn't that amazing? God works in amazing ways. He can send your enemies to fucking kill your enemies. Like on 9/11, what happened? My enemies were attacking my enemies. And then some of my enemies started attacking my enemies. And like, looking back on that, look what happened during COVID. Fucking, well, nothing of value. I didn't see anyone burning down the hospitals. Burning down their fucking precious fucking Nazi pig fucking fucking pedophile drug cartel fucking terror cult palaces. I didn't see that actually happen, but hey, 2020 I did get to see some hollowed out government buildings and shit. Those are the same Nazi pigs who sat there that year and let their little race fucking kidnap and assault me right in front of them and shit, and wouldn't do anything about it. I can't wait for this shit to come back on these fuckers. You know what? These fuckers need shipped over to China and be fucking forced to be slaves and shit to repay their debt to the 6,000-year debt to the world their fucking family has to pay off. It is about time things change on this motherfucking planet. And getting rid of these goddamn cocksuckers right here is the fucking first step to fucking being able to change things. Without their Nazi enforcers fucking being gone, nothing's ever going to change. But isn't that cute that we also have our enemies attacking our enemies? We have our enemies in the government fucking attacking their own system. It's always this beautiful fucking display that fucking ends up happening fucking like this. I noticed, like, looking back every time, I literally had someone trying, like, on a lower level than just all this shit, I had someone trying to kill me and they killed themselves in the process. Like, that's like the fucking craziest, wildest thing I've ever seen, right? They're always yapping. Our friends, our nutbag friends here with their new age terror cult, fucking, they be talking about the word karma and shit, which is like the opposite of some of their other, which is pretty much the opposite of like half of at least one of their one of the cults, right? Like, that says there is no karma. And although that book also says anything and everything, and you can just pull it up as long as you go back to the give me money part of that book and worship my race part of that book. It pretty much has anything you can pull up from it, so you might as well just You know, when someone talks like that, you might as well just dismiss it because, you know, red flags are red flags, and they're not painted white because they're not surrendering and shit. It's because they're the fucking enemies. So, yeah, there we have it. We have their symbols, and then they go and guard the Saint Jeffrey Epstein hospitals down the block that have, you know, the cross and the fucking serpent and the fucking freaking atheist symbol on them, where they do their pedophile rituals. I mean, literally, these people's DNA is like a little 6-year-old Lego kit. I think I bought a Lego kit the other day that has like 40 pieces. And I think it's more complex than the DNA code they've been created with. Because once you've seen it, it's like real simple. It's like you can like figure it out. Like, what will they do if I give them a doll, a baby doll? You know, like let's make a sex doll of a baby male. What will they do with it if I give it to them? It'll be so hard to figure out. Oh, they'll mutilate it and they'll rape it. They won't do anything else. That's a 2-piece Lego kit right there. We got that out of the way. 2 pieces of Lego. That's all they got. They're not going to sell it because it's a pride and joy. It's the most valuable thing they've ever seen on the planet. But they're definitely going to do the other things because it's all they've ever done. It's the pride and joy of the planet. So, yep. And so they protect the drug cartel they have that they use as an excuse to go bomb other nations and steal land, especially the Middle Easterners and Mexico. Apparently, like they've been trying to fight to steal Mexico since they accidentally landed on American soil and started genociding the natives and working their way down that direction. Just like they must have accidentally landed in South America a few thousand years ago and built churches, New World Order churches on top of churches with pyramids and crosses in them, on top of this fucking 100,000 native people they had to slaughter in order to build that church there. They were already down there. They just didn't have enough manpower apparently to kill them all off. And obviously, like, all those being there looking at all those fucking skeletons and shit, you could clearly see that was probably a small part of the people they had, and they did successfully kill enough to build a fucking large concrete bonecrete structure for them to build a new fucking hybrid temple on. Yeah, I think that's the only church I've ever seen that where they combine those two things, because they're really trying to separate that, right? Because they're supposed to be the victims of Egypt, and so they gotta hide it, and they're like, you know, because you're not going anywhere in this world unless you worship the root cause, you know, and at that point in time, they're gonna, like all the stars on TV doing their symbols are raping children and, you know, caught up in a lot of other stuff. They send people into my life, and fucking, I'm sure, you know, blackmail fucking exists and shit. I'm sure that's why you see people who don't look like them in Hollywood getting busted so much on TV and shit. I guarantee it's got something to do with they sold out and distractions too. And Michael Jackson supposedly didn't sell out to them, so they killed him for that. Yeah. Always makes me wonder. Kobe might have said something, and he would have said, if he said it, he would have said it like 6 months before, because they made that cartoon showing he was going to die, how he did. And then they put the pyramid in the cartoon too. So, you know, it's like they're branding it. they're branding that message. That's like a death. That's not a death threat. That's a message to everyone else on the planet. They killed him. That's not a threat. They did it. Fucking. That's for those who can see to shut the fuck up, basically. Yeah. So when those things happen, that's what that's for. Like, if they actually die and they don't take those people off the scene, you never know. Fucking, when someone dies beside you, if you ever had that happen, I don't know. In my case, it looked really weird. It didn't look like a real person and stuff. And it's weird, I would black out. Even though I hit a wall at 80 miles per hour, like, I still, like, wasn't damaged in any way. I didn't have, like, a owie and stuff. So, like, I don't think I hit my head. That makes no sense. I would black out for, like, what could have only been half a second, too. Fucking, unless they stopped the people in the car behind me who were chasing me and shit. Fucking told them to pull over and wait while they clean up the scene or something. There's something weird about that. Fucking, then again, I guess I've seen dead people before and they don't look like humans anymore, do they? But you can also, like, generally when you see dead people, they're like in makeup and stuff with embalming fluids, so of course they look a little bit different at that point in time. But yeah, fucking, it doesn't look much different apparently. Fucking there you have it. Nazi cult members, fucking, they're running everything, aren't they? And they're supposed to have a separation state and religion, yet I don't see it. Like, like if there was actually I mean, they literally are the government. Like, if there was a government who is, like, not part of this racial supremacy, this conglomeration of assorted racial supremacy organizations called religions, then wouldn't they, like, want to prevent racial supremacy from working over them, unless every member of it is part of that, you know? I was seeing this shit in fucking on the West Coast. Like, there's, like, trucks, I guess, that are made with, like, the pentagram on them, and I was like, damn, what are these, like, undercover cops following me around or something? But I guess people just wear it as the pentagram out there and shit. I think I've seen it on one vehicle out here recently, but I didn't see it till I went to the West Coast. Fucking, but it's no different, you know. I just figured, like, why do you have police symbols on you? I didn't think, oh, look, it's Satanist. I was like, it's a police. Like, same fucking thing, right? What's the difference there? Fucking, hey. Like, you know, if they're against the religion, why would they support, if they're not working with the religion that they're wearing the symbols of, then why would they support pedophile rituals by them, right? Like, why would they support, like, wouldn't have, like, okay, so if I had a kid, I suppose I'm giving humans the benefit of the doubt for the last few thousands of years. If someone says they're going to you should drug your child, you just throw them off a cliff, and then the whole town cheers. You come back with your story of bravery and excellence, and they're like, what happened to that guy that went around saying you should drug your children? I'd toss them off that high cliff above the jagged rocks over at the ocean's edge, and everyone would be like, yay! Long live the king! Hail the king. And then, so somehow, with the help of these religious symbols, religion, because we hadn't invented the word racial supremacy yet, so it was a known thing in the past that religion was one race conquering all, one bloodline conquering. It was their cultural beliefs, but obviously there are people like Caesar who had to use his his racial religion to colonize the world and teach them how to act like him. Teach them how to act, which means teach them how to act like him. So, I'm not sure if people used to not have problems breathing or walking or something. Maybe you had to teach humans how to breathe because they didn't know how to breathe. Yeah, so, yeah, fucking very trustworthy groups here. Just extremely trustworthy. You know what I'm saying? Like I would put my life in their hands. Fucking, they own USA. Is that all you need? That's really all you need to know. These are the symbols of the people who are USA and shit. Fucking so. Boy, that's a symbol of what? Genocide, global war. That's a symbol of the only nation in the world who's fucking dropped nukes on countries and erased cities out of their fucking country. It just erased cities full of people with one weapon, one super weapon, fucking. But they prefer not to do that. Because apparently, I'm not sure if it's because when they poison the land that they're afraid to go live on it afterwards, or if it's because it kills all the slaves that could be working for them. It's probably, like a mixture of the both. I really doubt anyone in the background is like, oh my God, we just killed people. Oh my God, why would we kill people? Like the military sergeant is like, he's like, I can't believe you guys just killed people. What the hell is wrong with you? We can't do that again. That's not what war is about. War is about spreading freedom. I think that's called passive aggressive manipulation, and I think they understand it quite well. Just like these people, they use passive aggressive manipulation. They run both cults, but they don't go around bragging about this one in the open and shit. Fucking, because it doesn't work as well. Apparently, if you go around being like, hey, I'm going to torture you if you don't fucking worship me. It works better if you be like, hey, I got 240 invisible friends who fucking said that, you don't worship me, then they're going to their enemies are going to torture you, and those invisible people are pretty powerful, so we should probably just, do what they say. Okay, they say give me your money too, so pass the collection plate. Fucking, man. There's a lot of, you would think that's a lot of hard work to network all this shit for thousands of years. That must be a lot of hard work from a lot of people who are hardly working. So, man, it's almost like kudos to them. You almost want to be like, hey, wow, you're actually doing work and no one else is. Congratulations, fucking. But I kind of get the idea. If I wrote a book on religion, that I don't think I'd be able to like go around telling people that someone's gonna torture them if they don't worship me. I don't know. Would that be legal? Could I go around in the streets like other people do? Like Joel Osteen does and shit, and be like, hey, you're gonna die in torture, fucking, if you don't join us. I don't know, can I do that? I don't, the average person, obviously, we would think, like, that wouldn't roll very well. Um, but I've really never heard anyone, actually come out and, just be honest about stuff like that. See, you never know what happened. Like, at this point in time, someone came out and they're like, well, we're just going to torture and kill everyone who doesn't worship us. At this point in time, I'd be like, hey, you got some honest people, man. What if they're lying? What if they're like everyone else and they're lying and they're actually not going to do that? Like, wow, it's a crazy situation because you're either dealing with people who are lying about they're going to torture and kill you, unlike everyone else who's lying about not doing it, or they're actually the first people in the world who are being honest. And at this point in time, after dealing with people and thinking through their torture and shit and lies, being able to not succumb to it for more than a few hours at a time, I realize, like, wow, like, we've just met the world's first honest person, I think. That could be used to, like, let your guard down too. You know how you, like, I come in peace and freedom and democracy. That way people put their weapons down and then you can stab them, and not waste money on a bullet. Get close enough to stab them, it'd be like one of those things. It could be used to let your guard down too. You'd be like, huh? Wait, why is he saying that in the open? What's he really up to? I've never heard this before. I've never dealt with this type of situation. They are kind of open. Actually, like, it's telling you, like, genocide. Slavery is okay. Rape people who aren't you and act like act like you're someone's husband or wife and marry them to kill them off. They are pretty open. It's just, I think so many people, like, don't want to be don't want to accept the simple fact that they're in the open about that like they have a whole fucking large ass manual, at least one manual. I haven't read the whole Encyclopedia Talmud, but I suppose it's more of the original Bible and yeah. Actually, someone did chime in without being asked to about someone actually said it actually goes into, like, them, like, just insulting the idea of God and after they create it to get everyone to worship them. Someone says it's about insulting that, like, just saying that's so stupid. And we're gonna torture and enslave this person and stuff. But there we go, man. That's we got the pentagram. You got the six-sided star. They're the people who control the government, who doesn't even allow you to call it anything besides a six-sided star or a pentagram. Yeah, I'm surprised it's not illegal to hate the pentagram, considering how it's on most of them. See, the pentagram is for the low-level plebes, and the star is on the sheriffs. I'm out in a special area. I get moved to a special area where the stars the six-sided stars in control, and the low-level pentagrams can't patrol out here, and it just happens to be a little area drawn out on the map. It's like they've taken a knife and cut out a block on the map, 4 blocks technically, maybe not, a little bit less, and just cut right out there. I noticed that because it was one of those little things that got forced my way and shit. And I was like, I should like look and just look at this once and see what it says. And I think I got the message there. I think the message might have to do with how they can write on their internet that they're going to ambush me, and then a month later they try to kill me, and then they continue trying to kill me by taking me to my own special place. My own little special place with a special nurse who doesn't even speak English or understand medicine and the human body. Yeah, I can only assume it's related because it's related, right? How many different ways does it have to be related before I can before I'm allowed to make the assumption that its relation is because its relation is already the problem? So there we got it. I think that shit in 2020 was fucking amusing. I was like trying to document who's behind it, right? But at the same time, like the simple fact it was happening was pretty cute. I mean, they're sitting there letting this one slow-mo like kidnap and assault me and shit when I'm trying to work and stuff out there, and trying to run for president. I'm trying to run for president, and the fucking Nazi pigs fucking are like letting people kidnap me. These fuckers in this city are guilty of some fucking federal fucking crimes and shit. Some serious like what happens to people? What happens to people in the government when they allow you to like assault presidents and politicians? And what's the? I think it's called an executable offense. How many times has this happened too? Is it just once, or is that like 100 times? That's weird. Like that can happen like hundreds of times to a person, to a politician. Wow, that's weird. Who would have thought that that's actually what happens in the government? Is you get killed if you try to run for it because they're all the same race working together, fucking to enslave the planet, and you're not part of it if you're not on board with it. Who would have thought that's actually how the world works? Not me, because I think I was raised by people who fucking worship that shit. So I definitely worked with them. Like, I work with them because my family worked with them. So, I mean, I'm saying I worked with them. So, but, you know, I was definitely raised into the cults as well as working with them. Fuck, dude. I'm about to go see a concert at this place I helped restore and shit. Maybe. I kind of don't want to. I kind of want to ask the people who... I noticed ICP went from playing shows at the Masonic Temple in Detroit, and for some reason they're playing at the Masonic Temple here. And which they don't call that anymore, but it is. I wasn't told I was rebuilding something else. It's I didn't even know they have like rock and roll rap shows at places like that. That place is kind of grand. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that at that place. I didn't know they ever had shows, but that's weird. Like, of all shows, they're gonna have a rap concert too. Like, I don't even. And man, the clubs I've seen that play rap are even more off the hook than the rock and roll clubs. So I can only imagine what a rap concert's gonna be like. Oh yeah, I've been to them actually. Yeah, my bad. I've been to them. It's pretty small, but we're talking about ICP. We're not talking about like Little White. We're talking about someone people fucking know and shit. Anyways, there you go. You got the pyramid, fucking. I didn't even know they held concerts at a place like that till I seen the ICP fucking was in Detroit uh, doing that, and then magically they're showing up here to do that. They also had magic shows at that place. Isn't that a weird coinky dink that they would have weekly magic shows at the temple there? It's kind of odd. But anyways, that's off. Is that off topic? Like, I mean, these things are just like pyramids put together, right? It's just like a pyramid on top of a pyramid, and obviously we got the church with the pyramid in it down south, and I mean, we have to just link the simple fact that no one else is allowed to own or do anything. So religion would be the same people as far back as you can expect it to be. To whatever point they genocided everyone who wasn't them, by the time they were done doing that, we can just assume everything after that was them. If it's not just their DNA is the only people who create fucking pedo terror cults and slimy fucking passive aggressive manipulation shit, fucking. Even though it's not very passive aggressive manipulation at first, it's more like, putting whips to people's backs. Maybe they learned a better method to do it or something. Yeah, there you have it. So that's pretty. That's pretty much a lie. That there's separation of church and government, and it's definitely a lie. There's a freedom of religion because you're not allowed. There's like no religion allowed that is not their people. I was taught it's not allowed. Like before I cared about what I was being taught, I was taught that's because it's not allowed. But even then, it looked like it was their people, like displaying that, like their people were the ones acting like they were creating a new religion, and so the media is like shuts it down and doesn't let it exist, and so that's pretty much it. They're just not gonna make it, even if it doesn't prove though that they're not the only people making them, because sure look like them creating the COTC. So I could only assume that that was them. And just like creating the Nazism, like they don't have blonde hair and blue eyes, but supposedly they're creating a group. And that's the same thing with COTC. It's like, why are these people who don't look like these people leading the fucking cults and shit? At least with BLM, they had to get like halflings to do it, Like with Obama, they had to they had to target a family in Africa like 100 years ago, and groom the child to become president, and seems to be what they did there. I mean, they were in that person's life for a long time. He was involved in stuff other than just that. But I'm sure it's no accident, right? So, there we have it. The Nazis are using religious symbols. Very obvious and in the open. I mean, I see those same symbols on cars, like I said, on the West Coast, and I'm not sure if they're undercover cops or if they're just people drive around there, car dealers out there are like selling vehicles that have pentagrams on them and shit. Fucking car companies are manufacturing vehicles with pentagrams on them. Fucking, you don't know which one it is. Is it a Satanist or a not so undercover cop? Fucking, you don't see it when they got a gun and they're trying to kill you, and you're not focused on things like that. Especially when their people are telling you you have to be their slave and their servant because they've probably raped their way into your bloodline at one point. So they're teaching you to worship them and shit. Fucking as gods, because these who white people, everyone in the world thinks who white people are gods, so they're the god race, and you got to do everything they say, especially when they invent people to round up slaves. There's no you didn't need cops because you killed all the natives and it was their land. And then they started bringing in other people, so they need to invent cops to round up other people. And then that turns into today they're like protecting like 8 trillion different scams and a freaking long list of slavery things that are worded differently to make it look like it's not slavery, because you got to use that passive aggressive pansy shit or people might not like it, or I'm not sure if it's just their DNA is passive aggressive pansy shit, or I'm assuming it is. I mean, come on, like, we want to have sex with 1-year-old boys. Like, I don't think men would ever want to touch 1-year-old boys, mutilate them, suckle them. I think that's probably coming from the mind of a frickin' sissy. So I don't see. Do you ever see any pedophile who looks really, looks like fucking like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something? Not really. All the ones on TV look like Epstein and the Pope and the Dahmer. It's like a thing and shit. Fucking, I don't know how it works. I don't know how the design works. You become what you look like, what you are, or you become that, or if you just design to look like what you are. Not sure how that works exactly, but it does seem to work that way. I knew in my life, like, that the first person I know who I assume is, likes children, would be like the first part. If there was a room for, like, if you went to the fucking school I went to with like, and I asked you, who do you think's a pedophile here? You would probably choose that person. I know I would, like, because it looks like everyone else who you've ever seen rape kids. So obviously it's a lot bigger thing than just a few people looking the same way. But like looking at Joel Osteen, right? Like, it looks like he rapes kids, right? He looks like the standard pedophile. Is that just because? Why is that? Why is that? How can you identify them just walking down the freaking street that they're gonna be something like that, right? Like, you look at a lot of those Roman statues, and you're like, that looks like a sick pedophile. Is that just because, like, they got naked men, statues of naked men, and that's what homos are generally, is pedophiles? it used to be like common knowledge, like, and I was like, how do you guys know this? But I got older, and I was like, oh, rape is definitely involved in it. It used to be common knowledge that how that must come about is a father raping their child, their male child. And it turns out to be the biggest cult. They're in the closet, obviously, because they claim they're against it. But turns out to be they mandated child rape thousands of years ago. Mandated and legalized that. And then, well, they are the boys who like boys. So looks like either it's genetic code or upbringing, or it's because they're getting raped at their birth. And obviously, like, that teaches you that's okay, right? So it teaches you that's how to do it. Especially like when it's your mom, like, having men doing it too. Then it's like the women are teaching. Like, this is a common theme I have with them in my life too. Is like there's like women who are trying to get men to have sex with men. Again, so if your woman is teaching you to do it, then obviously that's going to be two people fucking when you're born teaching you that homosexuality and pedophile is good. That's even weirder when the other sex is saying, "Nah, go ahead, let's touch men. Let's have men touch men." Just kind of different. I'm sure it'd be different. It's different in a couple nations who do it the reverse way, and they touch girls, right? And they just accept it. Yeah, it's beautiful though. Fucking amazing. Obviously, there is no separation of church and state because they're going around with the goddamn religious symbols on them, and they're the reason their drug cartels exist. They literally guard the drug fucking centers. They guard the pedophile mutilation centers in this nation. I don't think they're allowed. I don't know if they do the pedophile rituals sometimes at churches or synagogues here. But I know they're passing the buck on. They're trying to shed their ancient snakes, their more recent snake skins that they invented between the pyramid and now. Looks like they're trying to shed that. And so now science says you gotta perform the Bible ritual, pedo rituals. So of course I got the science symbol in the hospital, and they're telling you that these pedo drug dealers down there are like geniuses and heroes. Like I said, the new thing is they aren't gods, they're geniuses. Like Jerry Seinfeld, he's a fucking genius, ain't he? Fucking Marilyn Manson is a fucking genius. He didn't tell he's a genius because after he kicked out the one person who must have made the good fucking music, he could never make a fucking good song again. And he started that sex change thing too. He made that famous. He's a genius. Who could have foreseen it coming? Maybe he didn't foresee it coming. Maybe they put him there to start that. And then 20 years later, it came forth. 15 years later, it came forth. Probably. I mean, you got to write the Bible before you go genocide people, and how else are people going to know to rape their neighbors by saying that they're their family and their lovers and they want to marry them, and then destroy their kids and their families that way, unless you start it somewhere by writing it down, saying to do it. So unless it's in their DNA and they're just doing that to do it. But obviously the sex change thing. I mean, well, technically circumcision is pretty close to that. They're cutting off the wiener, probably for several sick reasons, where they're hoping to groom the male to be a pocket vagina for them. Probably really is the biggest deciding factor why anyone would invent something like that. So you're teaching a newborn, like that's how when you learn to walk and stuff. Everyone knows how to walk, don't they? Not everyone knows kindergarten math. So everyone knows how to walk. So you teach them that young, and they'll learn that it's okay for the Pope to be sucking your wiener. Just teach them the second they're born. It's more important than math. You gotta teach them that the second they're born. It's more important than walking. You don't teach them walking when they're born. You teach them that. You teach them it's okay to let males touch and have sex with you and mutilate you and stuff. And it's okay to have the separated non-religious people protecting the building that's being done in. The Nazi pigs. Isn't that fucking beautiful how it all unfolds? Like I've been saying this is how it is my whole fucking life, and it's like all in the open now. You got like the president sig heiling on stage. You got like other nations calling to like calling USA Nazi nations, which in the past, like I assume, I don't know, I thought they were part of it. I guess that just happens sometimes, is you forget you're part of something. And you're like walking around with like Hitler, looking like Hitler with American flags and stuff. Oh my God, that's weird. That's all actually coming out somewhere in the world. Meanwhile, I've seen that my whole life. And it just didn't used to be safe to, say that. Like, everyone is for it, pretty much. And so there's no point in talking about it, really. People are like, how's that war's going pretty good, don't you? When you, like, meet them and stuff, they're like, the war's going pretty good. And you're like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, ain't it? Someone's dying. That's a good thing, right? Fucking, we'll clean up this world soon. If everyone keeps dying, you guys drop some nukes on each other. There might be some empty land someone can build a house on. Fucking, gotta find those positives there. I've never met like a man, I don't think so, who I knew long enough, who didn't say those like things like we're on board with that shit. Fucking, and I'm not, the women can just say whatever to get you to come around them, so I'm not really buying into that, especially after the 2020 stuff. Like, everyone was a Nazi, so like that's weird. We got people protesting Nazisms who are probably involved in the Nazi shit in 2020. So, but it's all been coming out since then, hasn't it? It's all been like a little more on display than you're supposed to. It doesn't work if it's like in the closet. If it's not in the closet, like it's based around it being in the closet. You can't rape little boys if mutilate them if you tell people you're gay. You can't come out of the closet and be like, well, I'm gay, but we're going to perform this we're going to mutilate and suckle the child's genitals for God. You can't do that. Like, that doesn't sound as well as like, well, I'm I'm against gay people, but God wants us to mutilate and suck the children's genitals. It sounds better that way, doesn't it? Like, it sounds more convincing that we should do it, because it doesn't involve a gay person. It's just God wants it done. But before that, if you say it differently, you have a gay person who's telling you God wants him to suck genital children's wieners. To me, one, like, it's socially acceptable, right? I guess to everyone. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It'd be interesting to see what will happen when it comes out. Apparently, the stuff coming out now, it's kind of setting the ball in motion, which I suppose is probably just some set storyline anyways. It's probably some rail-based shit that's supposed to go on and has to go on, because what else do you do? Have you ever been able to control anything in the world around you? I doubt anyone I've ever met has been around anyone they've ever wanted to be, unless they look like those people. They might get to choose their own lives. I'm not sure if they're fully automated or they're sent. They have a consciousness. Fucking, I don't know what it's like to be anyone else. I know what it's like to watch them. I don't know what it's like to be them. So, yeah. That's called religion, when you use religious symbols, especially when you try to kill people and you work with this religion to kidnap and try to kill people like me. That means you're really part of the religion. But I mean, imagine like helping religions or other Nazi cults fucking rape children because God told them to. That would be weird if you're not actually part of it. I don't know many people, if any at all, who travel to Timbuktu to help Zukabu rape gerbils for God, for their God Zukabu. So yeah, I'm sure they're not religious symbols, right? Pentagrams and Star Davids are definitely not religious symbols. It's just something neat they chose, right? They just happen to own it all and happen to be the goon squad, the assassin squad, the murder squad, the terror squad of those religions. They definitely just have no affiliation. It all just happens to work like that, right? It just happens that way. Birds of a feather flock together, or something like that, or cows and chickens and tigers. That story of Charlotte's Web. They all just hang out in the barn together and roll in the hay, and everything's all great. Obviously, that's reality, and what I'm saying, like I said, me and the media, we're just making up. There's no wars. There's no such thing as weather either. There's no floods. There's no wars. There's no tornadoes. There's no hurricanes. It's just everything's just been so great. People, it's like Bigfoot stories apparently. Fucking people are just making it all up. Fucking. Every time you think it's raining, what's happening is someone's behind you. Like the carrot on the stick thing, where they're disciplining people, not leading morons to something that they're never going to reach. They instead of what they do is, while they got that carrot in front of you, they're just sprinkling some water on you, and so you think it's raining, right? Fucking. You can't trust your eyes. You gotta trust their word. Fuck, dude. That's probably why there's 50 stars on the flag. I wouldn't doubt it. They're obsessed with the star thing, aren't they? Doesn't it, how many of the cults do they choose a star for? A star is born, a six-sided star, a five-sided star, an inverted five-sided star. Um, oh yeah, the crescent moon has a star in it too, doesn't it? The star is like, the star is like pretty freaking important. There's something about that there. I think it's because it's like, probably because it's just like they started with the pyramid shape, and the mind slowly the human mind can only progress so fast or something. So then it turns into like two freaking pyramids combined. Who knows? Do you really think they have the answers to that? I'd like the important questions to be answered. It's always good to fucking when you're dealing with people, fucking don't let the conversation. If you're trying to get information from people, face to face, don't let the conversation go on too long, because that conversation will just drown in a sea of, well, you don't know what you're talking about. So what you do is you provoke the conversation, you ask the questions, or at least if you want to be really good about it, you want to display the evidence and read the response. Asking the question can provoke the stop code violence, and so you don't always want to go that far. And then you switch over to something real fast. Be like, why do you think they like the stars so much? Because you've already gotten the actual information you're going to get if you're having like a face-to-face conversation, which I don't recommend. Unless you like being kidnapped and assaulted and getting to experience the system. And if that's the case, if you want to do that, which is why I do it, you'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot actually getting involved with this stuff. And you should probably get some medical training for yourself. Because there's I don't know if the vehicles with these symbols on them are always going to show up if you need them. After one of the vehicles with these symbols on them fucking just tried to kill you when you're laying there bleeding out from it. So yeah, it's always a good idea to do that. That's probably where I've learned that. I probably learned that from them, right? Like I've learned this stuff so well from them, like how to deal with it and I'm trying my best to like work my way into mastering the tools I'm seeing that they must have been using ever since 2020. I figured, why not? I'm having a problem, with like being all like deceptive and shit. That'd be hard work, wouldn't it? That's hard. That's another weird thing. They can do that so well. They can keep up their little charades so well, like kind of like they're automated. It's like, to me, that'd be really hard to keep track of like 9,000 different lies, and the understanding that I have to network all those lies together properly, or the story falls apart. It seems like inhuman to me. Like, yeah. Anyways, yeah, cults everywhere, and people are definitely members of them, and it's all the same damn cult. That's why I fucking shit. I'd rather go to a fucking Masonic temple than any of them, because at least you get into the root of what's going on if you're there. You're probably not going to learn too much going to like a church or a science convention, right? Uh, and I don't think they're going to teach it too much about who controls the world and why everyone who runs all the churches looks related. And they it's that passive aggressive type thing. And then the science is like a silence type thing. Like they don't even discuss important things. It's science and atheist cults. I think the furthest they go is just telling other people they look stupid. And it's like, that's going to get you far against a genocide cult. Fucking, that's at your borders knocking on the door and stuff. Or inside your borders because they knocked down someone's door a long time ago and invited you into the house that they just stole. And it's going to get you real far with silence. Obviously, it would be designed for silence, kind of like the passive-aggressive manipulation lies are designed to be lies. Well, I expect to see some cute footage this year from the stuff that popped up on my screen this morning. Well, that was an accident, so I don't actually expect to see anything. Because I don't watch stuff. And then I accidentally clicked on TikTok, and then there was like a couple stupid videos, and for some reason I stayed on it, and I was about to punch myself. And then I seen this other thing, and I was like, oh, they dress like Hitler, let me check it out. That looks cool. So they're protesting America and stuff. Obvious, I would have seen that coming. I should have, it didn't happen. Like, the day he's out there sig heiling, I guess I gotta organize this stuff or something, write a script for it. Because, if people were really worried about it, you'd think they'd be in the streets. I guess people were fucking up Elon Musk stuff, supposedly. That's what they say. But from all the patterns I'd seen, if it wasn't being scripted, I would think that they would have been in the streets a lot faster over that. Because that's kind of weird when the leader of the world starts doing stuff and everyone's been against that. And because supposedly those people tried to invade and kill everyone on the planet. That timing there was weird. That's not the first weird timing I've seen. It took a year for... I seen COVID protests with 6 people. It was anti-mask protests, and the people running it were wearing masks. And so I was yeah, whatever. And then it took a year for anything else like that to resurface. It took a whole year. And then this thing took a month for me to see something. I didn't see it on YouTube either. I seen it on TikTok. And people are oh, it's because it's on TikTok. So are you telling me that that Zuckerberg and Google are working together with Elon Musk to hide stuff like that? How did they do that? Why would they work together? Why would they be in the open acting like that they're against each other if they're working together to do the same thing? I get the same ads from Zuckerberg that I get from Elon Musk. Actually, I don't remember getting the gay sex ads on Facebook like I did on X, but I got the drug ads on both of them. I got ads for drugs on both of them. Pretty much the same ads, right? So anyways, it's been a great day. I think it's about time for bed. Fucking... So we're pushing the limits of how long I can be up today. Fucking. So. I just got one question. Is the reason why, like, everyone has been dying from drugs since I was a kid? Because, like, they started, like, drugging everyone, namely me. Like, that's one of those things that, like, I always find myself saying, like, so if this happens, why hasn't this happened? And then, like, I always, like, whenever I say that, I always find myself being like, wait a minute, the media is saying everyone's dying from drugs and stuff. And they're like, they've always got these other answers to like, these weird things I think I'm seeing happening on the planet. They're like, well, we should invade Mexico because everyone here's dying from drugs. Like, that's a, well, that makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't have to make sense. You just have to say it. Wear a suit and say it. And people are like, oh my God, a person in a suit said it. Oh my God, let's do it. I toyed with that for a minute, and it does work that way. Um, but anyways, yeah. Maybe I should get me a police uniform so I can go around telling people what to do and stuff. Be like, get in my car. I'm commandeering your vehicle. I need your vehicle. Get out of your vehicle now. I've got important work to do. I've got to get over here and get some stuff done. Oh my God, dude. I would be dangerous if I had friends right now. Because I would try some of these dumbass shit, just to fill the time. Fuck it. And not be so fucking brain dead and bored. Fucking, what else is there to do, right? Can't run for president. Fucking not safe to go outside. So, I don't think there is a separation. That's that. There's no separation. The symbols are like, they literally wear the symbols. Even priests. Oh, wait a minute, yeah. Actually, a lot of priests have that. That's right. They don't have it on their robe. They have it on their scarf thing, don't they? So yeah, priests wear their symbols too. So, I just assume what happened 6,000 years ago is when they started inventing governments to enslave the planet. They learned that people can organize against governments, so they got to create a backup system to keep the government, to keep themselves in power. And it's not like really even controlled opposition, because it's not opposition, right? You have Donald Trump sells Bibles, so he's not like opposing it. I mean, him and Musk Musk is like catering to like atheists and Satanists, and Donald Trump selling Bibles, and I think it's just like the backup government. It is the shadow government. It is like they're the government in the open at this point, but if someone's anti-government, who's going to be there to help you? Well, Donald Trump's going to be there to help you, right? Because he's selling Bibles. Just seems to be that's obviously not the main thing. Would be racial superiority in conquest is written there, but definitely as a backup plan there that is being used for if you can outthink the government, We have a group for you that isn't part of the government. It probably worked less efficiently when they did combine the two together, and there was a state religion, and then people would oppose both at the same time. Or if you spend your whole life opposing half of that, trying to oppose the government, then you wouldn't be opposing the shadow government or the alternative government. So, obviously, makes a lot of sense. And then the government still uses the stars on their flag. At least in this nation, they use the star. Obviously, in other nations and European nations, some of them use the cross and stuff. And one of them uses the star in the Middle East. At least a couple of them do. So I think, I'm going to assume that means exactly what it looks like it means. What the pretty simplicity, obviousness of it means is happening. Because you can see it happening. Because they're doing a bunch of criminal shit with the protection of the government. So it's not separated that way either, right? Because they got the cops protecting their drug dealing centers and pedophile ritual places. So it's not separated that way either. Obviously, the military is a large portion of it. The wars just seem to be designed for religious conquest. That's why they're in the Middle East, because that's not America, that's the Bible people. That's where their race comes from, in the Middle East, supposedly. Which obviously isn't true if they're using the pyramid and stuff, but that's the story why everyone has to bomb them, because it's one piece of land that they want. And so, hey, yeah, I don't see how it's separated at all. No, I used to have to say this pledge where they used to make all the kids in the school say the pledge where they talked about their religion. And yeah, I'm not sure, like, if I can think of a thing where it's actually like separate, really, at all. Obviously, their new religion is what they're trying to shed their skin into involves atheism and scientism, and the government's huge on that shit. They're just trying to hide that's their new molt that they molted, and that's their new form. So don't see a difference there. Fuck it, ACAB.